you know what, fellas? He seems exhausted. And being his excellency can be exhausting, especially when you have to monitor the health it's like the stock market. You really got to do it every day. You got to do it every day. Michael Smith, Vincent Goodwill, what's up with Anthony Davis today? I saw him last night. He was fine. How about this morning? I saw him at shoot around. It's game time. How's he doing now? And so now with Anthony Davis, it is at least another month that he'll be out, and that's a critical time, Vinny. I mean, Lakers have played pretty much 60 games. Regular season's almost over. They're a play-in team. What do you make of today's episode of what's going on with Anthony Davis?
And maybe we should stop talking about the Lakers until they do something that's worth them talking about. Like, at this point, we keep trying to use these temp poles. Anthony Davis gets hurt. Is this going to be the thing that, galvanizes the Lakers? Wait, haven't we seen that movie already? And at this point, yeah, LeBron is exhausted, but partially this is a situation of his own creation. Like, he brought Anthony Davis to L.A. He brought Russell Westbrook to L.A. These are, not to say that he's the GM, but he's heavily influenced a lot of these personnel moves that haven't worked out or have only worked out to a certain extent. Like, this will be, this is his, fourth year in LA, and it doesn't seem like he's been there 4 years, but this is his fourth year. And short of that bubble championship that they won, you won't be able to get out of the first round or make the playoffs in the other 3 years. So maybe Anthony Davis being hurt is finally the time for us to say maybe we should stop paying attention to the Lakers until they're worth paying attention to.
But as long as number 6 is on the court, they're worth paying attention to. So I'll shift the conversation, not from can the Lakers contend, but can LeBron contend for more hardware? And here's what I mean, Vinny. So earlier we had our completely unnecessary, but nonetheless requisite MVP temperature check after Joel Embiid had another crazy game last night, right? We were talking about, MVP ballot, if somebody put a proverbial gun in your head, and you had to have an MVP ballot right now. So LeBron James is on a scoring streak like he's never had in his illustrious career. I think it's 23 straight games, 23 straight games, 25 or more points, averaging 29 with 8 rebounds and 6.5 assists this year, all right? Can you see a world, Vinny, in which, despite this situation being very much, partly LeBron's doing in terms of the roster, but with Anthony Davis out, can you see a situation in which LeBron James forces his way into the legitimate MVP conversation, maybe forces his way on some people's ballots, if he performs and drags this roster, this flawed roster, into beyond maybe play-in status? Maybe they end up 6. Because the point being, Vinny, you can make a case for a lot of guys just based on numbers, whether that's Embiid, Giannis, and of course Jokic, just based on numbers. But it's really going to come down to narrative. Can you see LeBron forcing us to include him in the MVP conversation with the way he's playing at this stage in his career?
Explain to me how he can do that. Explain to me the narrative that's created that allows LeBron.
If he plays like this and he ends up like in the 6th spot with this roster, or is that giving him too much of a benefit of the doubt given the roster?
That's not realistic. I'm sorry, that's not realistic. Like, we're 55 games into the season. We're at the All-Star break, but it's well more than halfway into the season. You know what I mean? Like, we're past the point of thinking that you aren't what you are. And the Lakers are what they are now, a very flawed bunch. And LeBron has, although he's never led the league in shot attempts, I think he's second if he were to technically, statistically qualify. He'd be second to Luka Doncic right now. And we understand why Luka Doncic is taking all the shots that he's taking. Like, LeBron statistically is always going to have that type of effect on the game, but he's not having that type of effect on winning. And there are way too many good to great players having great seasons that he can't even elbow himself, in my opinion, into a top 5 ballot. You have to go beyond Giannis and Jokic and Embiid. You have to go beyond Ja Morant, DeMar DeRozan, Stephen Curry. You have to go beyond all of that, even the Chris Pauls and Devin Bookers of the world. like, I don't see a world where he's not that guy anymore. You know what I mean? We're not even talking about the Kevin Durant's. If Kevin Durant were to come back and elevate the Brooklyn Nets beyond where they are, I don't foresee a world where the Lakers do enough real tangible winning with the schedule that they have and LeBron playing the way that he's playing, that can happen. I just think we kind of have to accept the fact that, you know, Santa Claus ain't real no more. Like, we're in year 19 for LeBron.
Bro, children watch our show, dog. Chill out.
Come on, man.
I mean, my bad. I'm sorry.
Come on, Santa
Change
Claus.
the subject,
Hey,
Mike. Hurry
like
up. Change the subject.
Like I said,
Change the
he's real in our. I've dealt with this. He's real in our house. You want to take your chances? That's what I always say. He's real in our house. So that usually ends the conversation. But let me ask you this: I think before the season, everybody knew that the Bulls were going to be improved, and by adding, you know, Lonzo and DeRozan. I mean, it's a good team. But the way DeRozan has done it has been a surprise. What are your sources? What are people saying about how DeRozan has done it? I mean, it's not like he's out of nowhere. He's a, 4 or 5 time All-Star, but we've never seen him play like this. How do you explain it?
I think you just see a guy that focused on what he was really good at and maximizing that. Like, he's not a different player than he was when he was in Toronto, than he was when he went to San Antonio. And I think to some degree, we probably, as a mass, stopped paying attention to DeMar DeRozan because he was in San Antonio. We were paying attention to what Kawhi Leonard was doing. We kind of looked at DeRozan's playoff exploits or lack thereof and put him in the box. So what he did this year was, you know what? I'm going to master everything in the mid-range. If that's the spot that I'm getting my shots at, I'm going to go there. When you look at his highlights, you look at the way that he's playing, it's not anything spectacular. Like, his highlight tape isn't necessarily spectacular. It's just that he is maximizing things that he is really, really good at, and he's not exposing himself. You know what I mean? Like he is hitting more mid-range jumpers. I think he's like 100 more mid-range jumpers than anybody else in the league this year. And the last guy to do that, I believe, was like Michael Jordan in like 97. And the game was a lot different back then, but I think you're seeing DeMar DeRozan play the game in a way that sort of belies the fact that it doesn't have to be cookie cutter. It doesn't have to be the way that the game is being taught now. It is basically saying, look, if you're good at 16 to 20 feet, you stay in that 16 to 20 feet box.
You seem to be joining us from a lovely hotel room. Are you already in Cleveland?
Well, you just said lovely hotel room and then Cleveland. Like, I don't know if that's anything lovely about Cleveland.
That was so
They got good hotels in Cleveland.
Hey,
Marriott's in Cleveland.
Hey, it's the same. The family reunion, the Midwestern family reunion, Detroit and Cleveland are cousins.
I know.
Maybe second cousins.
Like, why would somebody?
We are far more glamorous in Cleveland.
But y'all all share the same Midwestern chip on your shoulder from people not giving y'all respect from the outside. Having said all that, all I was going to ask you was the significance, and I know you spoke to Adam Silver about this. You've been doing a lot of great work, with your conversation with Adam Silver has produced a lot of great content. If the significance for you, I mean, we all know, the All-Star game has been dubbed the Black Super Bowl, the All-Star weekend dubbed the Black Super Bowl. We know what it means as fans. We know it's the best All-Star event, but even as a person who's embedded in the NBA world, as an NBA reporter, what's the significance 2 years since that, that All-Star weekend in Chicago that I was at even, before the pandemic hit the United States? What's the significance for you personally, just being there and it being this convention again that it's always been, where everybody's able to gather and see one another in person?
I guess you want to say we're getting closer to a new normal, closer to whatever this new normal is going to be. I'm sure there's going to be some changing of protocols after All-Star weekend. I think for me, the biggest thing was watching the Super Bowl week in LA and looking like, oh yeah, everything is open. So you kind of brace yourself a little bit, you know what I mean, to knowing what you're going to get into in Cleveland. And for people who don't remember, the first time I heard the word coronavirus was in Chicago 2 years ago. And someone asked Adam Silver about that at his press conference. He said, we're monitoring it, our offices all overseas, You know, they're dealing with it over there. And we had no clue that heat was on our doorstep or what that was going to feel like and what that was going to look like. And I know Adam Silver wants this All-Star weekend to sort of bookend this 2-year stretch. I just don't know if I will be in a world where I'm that naive again, where I will feel comfortable being around a whole bunch of snot-nosed, breathing all the air on me folks. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if that innocence will ever be there again, but I do believe
the NBA feels like they're coming out of the pandemic. See, that let me further know. That ain't got nothing to do with the pandemic. You were germaphobe.
What?
You were germaphobe before March of 2020, weren't you? You know, you don't like a lot of people around you.
I wasn't.
Oh, no, you weren't? Okay, all right.
I wasn't. Don't do me like that.
Bottom line is, be safe, enjoy it. We will be living vicariously through you, even in Cleveland.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.